Welcome to one of the many circle sessions hosted by Wonder Girls. Wonder Girls is a nationwide classrooms movement. We bring relatable female role models into classroom settings through our circle sessions. As you will see, the crux of these sessions is its dialogic nature. We're currently working with 150 plus classrooms across 7 Indian cities. Our aim is for every adolescent in India to have access to relatable female role models. I welcome you once again and hope you enjoy learning from our speakers' life journey and career path.
Thank you, Amzan. Thank you, ma'am. A very good afternoon to all. On behalf of St. Albert School, I extend a warm welcome to our guest, Ms. Diksha Gohlyan, to the another session of Wonder Girl Circle. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. I request one of our student, Bhavani, to take over now. Bhavani, please.
Thank you, ma'am. We, the student of St. Albert's, feel blessed to get an opportunity like this. I find immense pleasure in introducing our guest for today, Miss Diksha Gohlyan. Miss Gohlyan
Bhavani, you are on mute. Bhavani, you are on mute.
Can
Bhavani.
someone unmute her?
Sorry for disturbance, ma'am. It is internet issue. Thank you, ma'am. We, the students of St. Albert's, feel blessed to get an opportunity like this. I find immense pleasure in introducing our guest for today, Miss Diksha Gohlyan. She's a software engineer. She did her undergraduate from MIT, TC, after which she worked at Goldman Sachs for 2 years. She then pursued her master in USA and joined Google. She has been working at Google for 4 years now. She started in the photos team, then moved to Next Billion Users, where she would help to build a for emerging markets, with India being the biggest market. Ma'am, the presence of a personality such as yours is a blessing to us. I hope my friends are able to seek a little guidance and imbalance as much as they can from your thoughts. I would request ma'am to enlighten us with her precious words. Let's happily read.
Great. Thanks a lot, Bhavani, for that amazing introduction. I can start by giving just a little bit more details about me, who I am, uh, where I was born, and a little history about myself. And then we can go ahead with any of the questions that you guys have. I'm eager to hear from each one of you, everything that inspires you, that makes you go forward, and everything. Feel free to interrupt me at any point of time and ask me any questions that you guys have. Let me present my screen. I have some photos that I've put together to share with you guys.
Thank
Okay.
you, ma'am. Without any delay,
Bhavani, just a minute. Ma'am is presenting something.
Yeah, actually, I'm not able to share my screen. I guess the host has to allow me.
Yes, ma'am. Try now.
Let's see. Okay, are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what do you see in there? Do you see a mountain?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Um, just give me 1 second. Yeah, so hello everyone. I'm Diksha. I am a software engineer at Google. A little history about myself. I was born in Nepal. Nepal is a country of Mount Everest. It's a country where Lord Buddha was born, and it's the only country in the world with a triangular flag. I was born in a small family. I have two elder sisters, one younger brother. I was always brought up as a tomboy. I don't know whether you've seen Kuch Kuch Hota Hai or not, but I used to be addressed as Kajal all my life. And yeah, so in school, because I was addressed as like a tomboy, I used to end up playing with boys. I used to also get to like interact with girls. So even though, even if girls and boys had different roles, I get to I got to see the best of both worlds, and I could choose whatever I wanted to do. I played drums. I used to love playing basketball, and I was doing okay at school as well. And did my I I graduated. I did my 12th till 12th I was in Nepal. After that, I moved from Nepal to Trichy. As you can see in the map of India, it was going all the way from north to south. In Trichy, I had amazing fun because I was away from family. I got a lot more time to participate in different events, in cultural events, sports events, and even school events. This is a photo of me from a basketball tournament where I got the most valuable player. And this is just us having fun in one of our college basketball courts. It was me and my friend on top of a basketball court. And then in my final year, I got placed in Goldman Sachs. So this is a placement wall that we created. So each one of us, whenever we got placed, we put it on the wall because we felt it was an accomplishment. So this is all my friends, all my girlfriends that were in my college. After graduating, I got into Goldman Sachs. In Goldman Sachs, I was placed in Bangalore, but I had 3 months of training in New York. So I came to New York. Here we had training. I had done C++. They taught us some other skills, like some soft skills as well. And coming to US, I then decided I wanted to do masters in US because I was really fascinated by the kind of living people had, by the kind of passion people had in doing their work. And just during the time I was in Bangalore, I also traveled a lot. So this is me, my sister, and my best friend. We went on a all girls trip to Ladakh. The reason I'm showing you this photo is because this is a trip I'm really proud of. Like in India, especially where women are generally not allowed to do things, we three women took two bikes, and we went on a road trip from Manali to Ladakh. And then after working there for 2 years, I came to United States for my masters. This is when I was doing my masters, I was really into hackathons. I don't know whether you guys know what hackathons are, but it's basically like a competition where you build software or you build anything else. So you are given 2 days. You generally don't sleep over those 2 days. You only work a lot hard. Like as you can see in the photo, we all have our computers, we have a lot of snacks, we have bottles of Coke, we have coffee. For 2 days without sleeping, we try to build a product. And that's what I mostly did when I was when I was doing my master's. When I was doing my master's, after a year, I got internship in this thing. Do you guys know the symbol? Do you guys know what the symbol is for? Anyone who is aware of the symbol?
Identify the logo, students. Yes, Karthik.
Facebook, yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah. So I got my internship at Facebook. At Facebook, I was working on building a robot that can help you identify things that you want to buy. For example, if you guys are interested in maybe computers, right? So the robot will tell you that okay, you can buy this computer on Facebook. So I was building that kind of a robot. After my masters, I joined Google. So this is my desk at Google. I am really inspired by my mom. So this is my mom sitting at my desk at my workplace and me being able to take a photo of her. So she came all the way from Nepal to US, and I just felt so proud on that day that I could give her that kind of a life that was very comfortable. So at Google, I first started working on Google Photos, and we were making a product that makes any user be able to use their photos in the best way. I'm sure all of us like take a lot of photos all the time, but Google Photos does a good work of enhancing the photo, reminding you that you've taken those kind of photos. So I was working on that product. After a year, I moved into another team called Next Billion Users, and the Next Billion Users is basically about building products for emerging markets. Like India is one of our biggest markets. The reason we call it Next Billion Users is because the Western market has always been on the internet, right? Like even even they study using internet, but in India, the technology is now coming into the picture. Previously, when I used to study in India, I used to use a paper and a pen, but now I know that you guys are already using your laptops. You guys are already using Zoom to get more education. So I'm working on this org, trying to build products for Indian markets, Bangladesh markets, Nepal markets, and those other markets. Uh, Being at Google has given me other opportunities as well. So this is the time I went to Europe to teach kids how to code. So I've been given such nice opportunities at Google as well. And with my life journey, one thing that I want to tell you guys is learning never stops. You learn every single day. Even till now, every weekend here or there, I try to go on YouTube, learn a new language, learn a new skill. And basically, that's what I think. Like self development is extremely, extremely important. So yeah, that is about me.
Okay. All of us, I think, already connect to you a lot because we had sessions with them explaining them what engineering is about. But then, since they didn't get to read a lot about you, they still had this question, okay, how do we connect to Didi? So, this sums it all. Thanks a lot. Bhavani, do you have to say something?
Yes. Without any delay, let us now begin our much awaited session and know what it takes and what it is to be a software engineer and work abroad. Please follow bit by bit, or should I say byte by byte?
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
so as far as I understand, the question is basically what it takes to be a software engineer and what it takes to be abroad. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think one thing to start with to become a software engineer, you need to start ground up. I know you guys are in 6th to 10th grade, and that's when you need to start. You need to be really good at science and math. I think software engineering is a lot about computers, but it is mainly about logic, and your foundation of being really good at math and science is very important. Apart from that, I think generally there's a life journey that's out there. Being abroad or working in India is kind of similar. If you're really interested in working abroad, then there are various companies that basically that basically interview you for a role for a software engineer, and for that you need to go through a path. Like first thing is basically get good at science and math, then you want to do your bachelor's or your uh, like bachelor studies in computer science. After that you get a job and come abroad. The other path that you can do is you again be good at science and math, and then you do bachelor's in United States of America or anywhere, and then you also do your master's in United States of America or in India, and then you join a software company in company abroad. So my journey specifically has been from 6th grade. I tried being good in science and math. Then I did my bachelor's in India. I worked there for a couple of years. Then I came to America for my master's, for my higher studies in computer science, and then I joined Google.
Thank you, ma'am. I think a lot of questions are going to be repetitive now. So,
Sure,
can we start asking the questions?
sure.
Yeah, Mohit, can you ask your question? Mohit?
Thank you, Didi.
Good afternoon, ma'am. So my question to you is, who is a software engineer? Can you explain the role?
Yeah, sure. So a software engineer is basically a profession, is a profession who develops software, who develops games. I don't know whether you guys play games, and then softwares like Facebook. Then there is Google search, and there are other different apps on your phone, right? So all of this is built by software engineers, and we also work on network connections. Like for example, your internet. Basically, right now we're making use of Zoom. So that is also built by a software engineer. So software engineer is a profession who develops different kind of software. I, as a software engineer, am building an Android application called Files that does file storage management on your phone. Basically, any files that you have on your phone, I create an app to make it easy for you to look at those files, search those files, delete those files, or do other operations on those files.
Can we have the next question, Karthik?
Thank you, Didi. Good afternoon, ma'am. My question to you is, ma'am, I am interested in doing software engineering. What subject I focus on?
Sure. So I think, like I said in my previous answer, I think right now you specifically need to focus on science and math. But in case you guys have a computers program in your school, I would say you to focus on computers as well. Computers generally doesn't require, like, you don't really require computers knowledge till a little older. But if you have a good knowledge of computers, it just makes you more confident and it makes your foundation better. So I would say science and math specifically. I also think English is really important here because when you when your English is good, you can communicate better, and in the future you'll know how important is it for selling yourself. But to sum up the answer, I think science and math specifically are extremely important.
Thank you, ma'am.
So now, kids, no escaping from math and science. Next time you ask why science and math, we'll show you this video, definitely. Thank you, ma'am. It will be easier for us now. So, Shiv Shankar, can you ask your question now?
Thank you, Didi. Good afternoon, ma'am. My question is to you. Do you believe in having a role model? If yes, then who?
Wow, this is an amazing question. I definitely believe in having role models. When I was young, for me, that role model was Bill Gates, and I probably worked really hard because I was so inspired by him. I wanted to be like the richest person in the world. I wanted to be great at computers and all of that. But today, I have so many role models. Basically, role models are someone you can imitate from, right? So I seek to copy from a lot of people. For example, even your Miss Sakshi, who is so dedicated to bring the best exposure for you guys, she's a role model for me. And also you guys who have so much energy to change the world, and you have so much energy to do something good, something great. You guys are inspiring me as well. So you guys are my role models as well.
Okay, Bill Gates as a role model. Yes, I'm sure you have come very close to what he is. I'm sure the kids look up to you now. Kids, yes? Can you please answer?
Yes, Didi.
I see a few thumbs up. Thank you guys.
And Mahadev, can you ask your question?
Thank you, Dee. Good afternoon, ma'am. My question to you is, what is next billion users?
Yeah, actually, so next billion users is actually a term that's coined by Google. Like it is brought up by Google. So you guys know that internet was created in America, right? And and within the next 100 years, it was available to the Western countries like United States, Europe, and Australia. That's where the first billion users, basically the first billion users that make use of Google products like Google Search, Google Photos. But countries like India, Bangladesh, Nepal, they are slowly moving into a more technological field. They're getting more acquainted to internet. So they are the users that are now using Google products like search, Google Photos, and other things. So next billion users is nothing but users from markets that are now coming to the internet, like India, then there's China, then there's Bangladesh. So all of these countries, they are the next billion users.
Thank you, Didi.
Abhishek, your question, please.
Thank you, Didi. Good afternoon, ma'am. What is your experience at Google? What is your experience at Google?
Yeah, great. So my experience at Google has been extremely, extremely nice. The reason I say that is because right now I'm trying to build products that can be used by users, right? That can be used by other people. I can see that every day that millions of people are using my product, things that I've built, and I'm making people's lives easier. Apart from that, the experience at Google has even been better because we have different perks. Like we get free food, there's a basketball court where I can go and play anytime. Then there are also these learning sessions, like there are teachers who come and teach us new things. Then all of these perks makes Google a community of its own itself. We have a haircut salon at Google itself, then different other things. And I think the best part about Google is just the people I get to work with. They're so experienced. I get to learn a lot from them every single day. And the second thing is users. I'm able to build a product that can be used by so many people and can change their lives. So my experience at Google is extremely great. I would recommend anybody and everybody to join Google.
Thank you, ma'am. And I'm sure the kids are very grateful to Google for it gives them all the answers for their homeworks.
Right.
Thanks to you. Okay. So, ma'am, can I just add to the question? You've been working in the two renowned firms, Facebook and Google both. So,
Yeah.
how different was the experience?
Yeah, so I think the style of working in different companies is different. For example, I think when I was at Facebook, that time it was really growing, right? So it was in this whole mindset of build fast and break things. So the development would be really fast and we would break things here and there, but we would also develop things that were used by people. Also, Facebook is a much cooler product, I think. So I got to personally work on like robots. I got to personally work on things that were more needed by the younger generation. At Google, however, we do things with a much more precision. We try to make things best as possible. That basically slows down things a lot, but it also makes you learn better. It makes you a better programmer. And I think just the difference is like at Facebook, things would move much faster. At Google, it would be slower, but like like it's done in fast learning and slow learning, right? For example, if you're given a math test with 100 questions and you try to finish all, then you might end up doing silly mistakes, but you might still end up getting like 50 marks. But if you attempt slowly and try to do everything at its best, then you might not be able to complete all the 100 questions. So I think the difference is just that. Like, one, we're trying to move as fast as possible. Like at Facebook, things move very fast. At Google, things are slow, but we try to make them as great as possible.
So, probably Facebook is like the learning experience with the kids. They want everything very fast.
Right, right, exactly.
Bhavna, your question, please.
Thank you, Didi. Good afternoon, ma'am. What
Hi.
was your reaction when you got into Google?
Yeah, I was extremely overwhelmed. I have known about these companies for a really long time, and they were my dream company. Like I never thought I could get into it. Uh, since they were like the best software companies in the world. But I guess all it takes is hard work. I worked really hard, not in mind like not keeping in mind these companies, but just keeping in mind that I wanted to become a great software engineer. I tried to keep my foundation great. I tried to work on my science and math a lot. I tried to work on my self development, just trying to understand what I need to do to make myself a better person. And believe me, whoever I have met at Google are also very self motivated. So I think my reaction itself was very overwhelming. I really did not believe I got into Google, so I had to like pinch myself some 4 or 5 times and be like, "Hey, is this true or I'm still dreaming about it?" So I was extremely overwhelmed.
Thank you, Didi.
And Vikram, your question, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. How and when did you realize that you wanted to be a software engineer only?
So can you repeat that again?
How and when did you realize that you wanted to be a software engineer only?
Yeah, so I think when I was really young, I did not know the difference between different engineering roles. So since I was really small, my parents used to be like, "Hey, yeah, you want to become an engineer?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, of course, I wanted to become an engineer." But for me, that time engineering was all about building homes because I knew of only one engineer and he had built somebody's house. When I got into eighth grade, I got more into computers, and then I also participated in a lot of events that related to computers. And that's when I was introduced to software engineering. And that is when I decided that I wanted to become a software engineer. Like, I think in eighth grade, I realized I wanted to become a software engineer.
Okay, so ma'am, for the kids especially, how do you think, like, yeah, now we have undergirl sessions, but then what more as teachers can we do so that they are aware of different software, engineering, and other career options for them?
Right. So I think all of these sessions that you guys are doing are great. Just meeting other people. Apart from that, I also think that competitions, like basically a website making competition or software building competition, those will really take them long way because I think those are the competitions that help me shape my interest towards computer science. Just being able to build something that can be used by others. So maybe competitions where people can just make I know these kids are really young, but I also know that in US, I've seen a lot of kids build product on their own. So I think that is one way I really think it can help the kids get more interested in software engineering as such.
Thank you, ma'am. Megha, can you ask your question?
Um, what are the qualities and the qualifications required to become a software engineer?
So talking about qualifications, you need to have a bachelor degree in computer science. In general, it can be any science because I've known people who have done physics but have still become software engineers. I know people who have been hardware engineers and still be able to do software engineer. So that's the major qualification you need to have. Talking about quality, as I've been emphasizing a lot, uh, being a software engineer is a lot about logic and decision making. And I think being good in math and science helps you get that logic, helps you get into the whole decision making. So, qualifications, bachelor degree in computer science, qualities, being able to have good logic and good decision making.
Thank you, ma'am. Bhargav, can you please ask your question? Bhargav, are you there?
He might be having audio problem.
Yeah. So I'll ask his question, ma'am. So his question was, are you product developer or a product enhancer? Which one, according to you, is a better one?
Wow, you guys have really amazing questions. So, I think both are important and both require different skills. Any software engineer is like 30% developer and 70% enhancer. By enhancer, I am assuming you mean like maintaining the code and keeping it in its best state, right? I would say that I'm a developer that works in giving the most enhanced product to the user at any time. So enhancing and developing both come hand to hand. Enhancing in general, I think, is more challenging since you need to be able to read other people's code, you need to be able to understand it and make it better. Um, but I would say that all of us, all software engineers in general, are developer and an enhancer.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Manvit, can we have your question?
Sakshi, Manvit is not here.
Okay, so do I ask his question
Yeah,
now?
yeah, please.
Yeah, so his question was, what are the myths and notions related to software engineering?
Okay, I think I ask you guys, what do you guys think like software engineers do or what they generally are? But I think one thing that comes to the top of my mind is like software engineers, people think that software engineers only write code. But that's not true. Software engineers don't just write code, they build products. And building products is not just writing code, it's basically identifying what to make, why to make it, how to make it. Decisions, just trying to identify all of these things, are much bigger part of just software development than writing code. Yeah, so I think that's the biggest myth that I think is related to software engineer, that we only write code, which is not true.
And any notion that you think is there in this field?
um, what kind of notions? Like,
Okay, when it comes to engineering per se, so you say engineering karte ho tab kids are actually having more fun. You don't have to study, it's okay. You can have your supplies. So education goes for a toss there.
yeah, so I think education is really important. Of course, there are many examples like Bill Gates left his college, and even I think Mark Zuckerberg left his college. So there are these examples of great people who have left their college and built great products. You can definitely do that, but that I would say is just like one or two other people. Like 99% of software engineers have been really good with their education. Of course, like everybody has their strong points and they have their weaknesses. So some people, for example, in my college, there was this one guy who had like 10 supplementaries, but he got a great job at Facebook because he was amazing at computer science. So everybody's got their weaknesses and their strengths. You need to identify what your strengths are and basically like I don't know whether you, so everybody's got their passion, right? So identifying that passion is extremely important, and directing yourself in that direction is very important. But education, I personally think, is very important.
So, okay, my personal question, qualities or qualifications? What is more important then?
So I again personally think qualities are much much more important. Qualifications take you till one point. For example, it might get you an interview at Google, but your qualities are going to get you a job at Google. Like you might reach a point with your qualifications, but your qualities are going to take you a long way, because eventually we all want to get work done, we all want to make lives better. So yeah, I personally think it's qualities.
Yes.
Okay, seems like Sakshi misses, her internet is gone. Till then, do you guys have any other questions, anything?
Yeah, Hamza.
Okay, she's back.
Bhavna, can we have your question now?
Thank you, Didi. Good afternoon, ma'am. Whom do you look up to in your field?
So I really look up to my manager. He's very humble. He's very down to earth, and the best thing about him is he trusts in me. He trusts in all his team members. He does not micromanage at all. Like he basically thinks that we as employees are going to take care of the product. We are going to make sure that we can give the best product. He has built a culture where he helps everyone to grow. Like he encourages me to attend one class at least a month where I'm learning something new. So just that whole positive environment, the whole environment of self-development and growing makes me look up to him in my field. I really want to be like him.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next question, Bhavani.
Thank you, Diti. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you please tell us about a few projects that you have completed successfully?
Cool. I think I'm gonna start with like some cool projects so that you guys are a little more engaged. So I was working on this camera app. Uh, what that camera app did was basically take a photo of you and it would enhance it. For example, it would decrease the contrast of the background, it would increase lighting on your face, and it would basically just transform the photograph that you've clicked to a really good photograph. Like it would basically remove all the noise that's there in your photo and give you the best result of the photograph. So that was one of the product that I worked on, and it was basically for for phones that are built in India and China, which are like low end phones, which are just for 1,000 rupees, and you can get the best photograph out of it. The second project that I worked on, which was extremely cool, was when I interned at Facebook. I created this messaging bot that gives you like the best, the products that you like. Like if you're interested in violin, it'll show you what violin other people are selling. If you're more interested in, for example, basketball, it'll show you like uh, other basketball related stuff that people are ready to sell. So this is the other project that I find very cool that I worked on. When I was doing multiple hackathons, I worked on different projects, and in one of it, I also built a game. So what the game would do was basically you need to be able to. It showed you a layout, and you need to be able to graze the grass. So there was a sheep over there, and the sheep would graze grass, like it would eat the grass, but you have to eat the grass of the whole layout in least number of steps. So yeah, these are some of the projects that I've worked on.
Thank you, Diti.
Thank you, ma'am. Varshini, your question, please. Is she there?
Varshini? Varshini, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Didi. Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, who supported you the most in your journey?
Yeah, so basically, my mom has supported me the most in my journey. Oh, like I said, I moved from Nepal to Trichy for my bachelor's. She was really encouraging of me. She was like, "Yeah, go ahead. You should definitely do this." I was there was a time when I was dropping the idea of doing masters in the United States. So I thought that maybe I don't want to come to US for masters. But my mom pushed me. She kept reminding me that, are you sure you don't want to go? Or she kept reminding me to go do my masters, and she used to call me every day whether I'm studying or not, whether I'm trying to pursue my dreams or not. Sorry. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Even today, like when she calls me, she just asks me, "Are you doing a good job as a software engineer? Are you working hard or not?" Like she really thinks that if you're given a career opportunity, you should grab it and you should take it as farther possible as you can. So my mom is basically like she supported me the most in my journey.
I'm sure, ma'am, because the happiness that actually reflected when you showed the picture in the presentation, how proud you were because she came to your office, she was sitting in your seat.
Yeah.
Definitely, she is there beside you. Okay. Can we have the next question, Rohini? Are you there, Rohini?
Yes, Didi. Thank you, Didi. Good afternoon, ma'am. My question is, in a male dominant field, how difficult is it for a lady to achieve or reach a higher post in your field?
To be honest, I actually haven't felt anything like
Hi,
that.
Didi.
Yeah. Yeah. To answer the question, I haven't felt it. Maybe because I'm not in such a high position, but I've heard as you go higher, it becomes much more difficult. I've done some research on it as well and tried to understand why exactly that happens. Sometimes it's also on us. Like we as women apparently tend to ask for promotion or raise in salary almost 75% less than men. So if a man goes and asks his manager for a raise, for a promotion, women tend to ask that 75% lesser of time. I think we get intimidated, we get scared, but once we take that step forward, we realize that the world is not so harsh. So, one thing that I really want to tell you guys is never ever be hesitant to take that step forward. Like, never think twice to ask for anything. Be open to asking for what you want.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. That is something we've been emphasizing too. I hope since you're telling that they keep that in mind. Okay. Preeti, your question, please.
Thank you, Didi. Good afternoon, ma'am. If not a software engineer, what would you have been?
This is a no-brainer. I think I would have been a basketball player. Like since I was in fourth grade, I've been so much interested in basketball. Even my mom calls me today and asks me whether I'm still playing basketball. Right now, I'm in Nepal. I've come here for vacation, but I've already found an institute where I can get better at basketball. In general, I think sports really shapes you. It teaches you to become a leader as well as a player. And like I said, software engineering is about making decisions, right? And I think when you play a team sport, it's also a lot about making decisions. I've slightly put in like what like basically like why sports is important, but I think if not a software engineer, I would have been a basketball player.
Yes, both of them require team skills.
Right.
And now, Bhumika, can you ask your question?
She isn't here, Sakshi.
Ma'am, do you want me to wait for her to join?
No, no, no. You continue.
Okay, so her question was, how do men respond to a team led by a lady?
Um, so luckily in US, I haven't seen a lot of difference. My first manager was a woman, and men did not really respond in a different way. I've seen other teams also where women are leading, and they're always encouraged. I sometimes, however, felt that when I was working in Goldman Sachs. In Goldman Sachs, when a woman would lead, it would feel a little different to men, mainly because they have never probably lived in that kind of a situation, right? Like they've never been led by a woman. I've also seen this kind of a difference in a more male dominating career. I think software engineers are very lucky, or I would say, we have led our way, we have penetrated into the software field so much that we no longer see a lot of difference. Um, I think that is also a reason why we need more women in any field, in all the fields, so that the few women who are in that field don't feel that uncomfortable. So diversity in any field, anything is extremely important. Like if you have more women, people will be more comfortable as well. But I have personally never seen men respond in a bad way in a team that is led by a lady.
Thank you, ma'am, because we haven't seen both Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Page, Sergey Brin. We have all male CEOs, leaders, but we haven't seen any lady. So,
Right.
and also, so do you have any discrimination because you're from India?
So I don't see any discrimination out there, but of course I'm an immigrant over there, so I have limited powers. I cannot like start my own company over there because I'm an immigrant, and it's the same for men and women, like men and women from India. In terms of discrimination, I think people are more likely to welcome Indian people because they think that they're really smart. Indian people tend to be really good at science and math, and they're also very welcoming, like how we always say namaste meet we always meet anyone. So I think people generally think people from India are really smart and they're also very humble. So I've never felt that kind of a discrimination. About your question about women leaders, I think that is slowly changing, but I also think it's a great responsibility and a great opportunity on all of us to become those future leaders. Like we all have that great opportunity and even a responsibility. We should all take a pledge to basically work really hard and get there and become the future of our country, of our world.
Yes, definitely. Do you guys agree, all the students?
Yes, Didi.
Okay, so our next question is by Meghana.
I don't think she's here, Sakshi.
Okay, ma'am, I'll just read out her question also. How important is education irrespective of career choices one makes? Like your interest in basketball. So, would you even study then if you would have been a basketball player?
Yeah, I think education is very, very important. I don't know. So I've seen a lot of movies related to basketball as well. And there also, I don't know whether you guys have seen Coach Carter, but Coach Carter is one such movie where he emphasizes a lot on education. I might be earning less and more at different times, but education gives me that confidence. It gives me the confidence to take risks. It gives me the confidence to take a leap, to jump into things. It has basically given me confidence that I can learn anything and everything. Even if I have to get into carpentry now, right? I know I can do that because I've been educated. I can learn how to do carpentry. I can learn even how to dig a hole in the ground. Education, therefore, is very, very important. Being able to read, being able to write, being able to comprehend, these are the most important skills that anybody should have.
Thank you, ma'am. Varshini, your question, please.
Thank you, Didi. Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, how do you motivate yourself when you face challenges? What can I do to motivate myself?
So I think motivation should remain within you every time. For example, every year I make resolutions like on 31st of December. I also do it every month. I do self introspection. I always try to see how I can make myself better. I have a journal, I have a diary in which I write into at least once a week, trying to see what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. Because no, none of us are perfect. We all need to improve ourselves every single time. Specifically, talking about when I face challenges, I take a step back, I take a deep breath, and then I try to also break down the problem that I'm facing into smaller, achievable things. For example, I wanted to get into Google and I knew I had to practice, but it was a big challenge in front of me because I had to do 500 questions. So I was like, okay, I'm too tensed about it. So I took a step back, I took a deep breath, and then I was like, okay, let me do one question at a time. Within 3 months, I was able to do like 200 questions. I was not able to complete all of it, but here I am. I'm working at Google. So even though I could not complete the challenge completely, basically, but I was still able to grab a good position and do what I really wanted to do. So one liner for you guys would be take a step back, take a deep breath, try to break into smaller chunks, smaller achievable tasks, and do that tasks one step at a time.
Yes, the kids follow, take a step back and sit down. That's it. That is that they do. The kids taking a step back and then again moving forward. That's the
That,
new motto.
right. You need to also go forward, like one step at a time. So go forward as well.
Yes, no sitting and just like okay,
Using a
no sitting back now.
yeah.
So thanks a lot, ma'am. Definitely, this was a new field that they have heard about, and I'm sure they are interested now. All of you, can you please tell, are you interested in software engineering or your fear for math and science?
Yes, ma'am, I am interested.
Great, great. Yeah. I can also share my details and I can keep in touch with you guys in however way possible. And I would love to guide you guys anywhere and also learn from you guys.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. That means a lot. I'm sure they will take up the opportunity and use it to the fullest. So, Bhavani, do you want to end the session?
Yes, Didi. With this, we came to an end of today's session. It was truly an inspiration one. Getting to know the efforts, dedication, and strong determination, such as ma'am's, we surely can say that nothing in life comes easy. It requires hard work. Your presence and gentle words were a source of encouragement for all of us, ma'am. Thank you for inspiring a valuable time with us.
Great. Thanks a lot to
Thanks a lot.
everyone for giving me this opportunity.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks a lot for
Thank you,
joining us.
ma'am.
Anyone, any more questions now that you know Didi personally as well, other than
Actually,
the profession?
Sakshi,
Yes, Amjad.
I just wanted to say something. Like, I'm just
Sure.
thinking about ma'am's mom, like how she has supported. Like in India, millions of girls are not even able to go to, primary school, and her mom, she did a great job. So I just would love to ask, ma'am, from where your mom got such an amazing courage, that courage, that positive attitude, and those big dreams for the child. Uh, yeah, so would you love to explain? Because I have seen there are many mothers, their children are really intelligent and all, but these safety concerns in India and all, they don't send, especially girls for higher education. So
Right.
what can be done for that?
Yeah. I personally think that parenting is the most difficult job in this world. There is no one way of doing it. And that's a good question that I should ask my mom. Like, how did she get that whole courage to take us forward? Like, even though we were not really good at it, she pushed us. She literally pushed us into doing it. Asking about where she got her courage, she's always been saying that her parents have been great and they have always been people who like pushed her and she got it from there. But I would say it's just her personal trait. And I really don't know where she got the courage from. But I'm so happy that she had that in her to push me forward. And she has like 4 kids and she pushed all of us forward. So it's just not me, but my 2 other sisters and my younger brother as well. She's always been doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, do you want to add something to it?
No, that is it.
Do we end the session, ma'am?
Sure. And if anybody's got any other questions, you guys can anytime message me, mail me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, anything that you guys use. And I would love to answer those as well.
They were just waiting for that thing, ma'am. Now you'll be loaded with questions.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll send it to you, Sakshi, and then you can forward it to everybody else.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Thanks a lot, ma'am.
great. Thank you, everyone. Great meeting.
Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Amjad,
Bye, ma'am.
Kushali. Who's this? So happy.
Bhavya,
No, why many of you?
what was this? Okay, be on mute.
Beginning of the session, 27, 28 were there. Now 21 only. They will keep on exiting.
They won't get an opportunity to attend the next session, ma'am. Photography. They will want to attend, they won't get a chance.
Yeah. So they keep on exiting.
I don't
And
know
all the
what is this. I mean, you won't get such people to interact with easily. See, says software engineer would be very busy, and such people really don't have time for us. Okay, but you are lucky, you are getting, and you are not making use of this. Like, I'm so much inspired after listening to her. I myself. So just imagine, हमने तो कभी we did not get these opportunities, never. You are lucky people, okay? अगर हमें ये opportunities मिलती like IAS officers and then engineers and the professors and all, so शायद आज हम teacher ना होते, कुछ और होते.
no, Amjad. I think it is good that you didn't get that exposure. But like teacher chala jata.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't know, but you know, she is a girl and went to US and doing great. So you all, especially girls, these sessions are especially for you. Please, have big dreams.
No,
Nothing.
Amjad. They'll just dream while they're sleeping. When they wake up, the dream is gone. Education is not important for them. They don't want to learn online also.
Yes, that is there. So if they don't want to learn, that's okay. Then they will live like their parents are living. I know many of the parents, they sell bananas, they ride autos, they even don't have smartphones. Some of your friends, you are lucky people, you have got smartphones. Some of your friends do not have smartphone even to attend class. So do you want, after 20 or 25 years later, your children be in the same position? That they don't have good clothes, they are not able to go to good schools, they are not having money to celebrate their birthdays or anything. So do you want to see your children suffering like this? Of course, I hope your parents also don't want. That's why they are working hard for you. They are sending you in the school, and they are in this coronavirus also. They are riding autos on the road, you know, just for you. They are going for work, just for you, and you are not studying. You are not doing hard work. How painful it is. It's not. If in the last session also, I think we heard one of the speakers saying that I wanted to give a comfortable and good life to my parents. That's why I studied hard. So, and this Diksha ma'am also told, I wanted to give comfortable life to my mom. And she took her mom to the Google headquarters. See how big we people can't go easily there. Not possible. Prime Minister Narendra Modi went there. So there are, prime ministers, chief ministers, they even don't get chance sometimes to visit Google headquarters. That's not easy. Please listen to your Sakshi Didi, ma'am, and everyone. Do hard work, whatever dream you have. Just
अरे अमजद, ये साल की पढ़ाई गई तो क्या नेक्स्ट ईयर स्टार्ट कर लेंगे? मक्खन है पढ़ाई तो, फाउंडेशन स्ट्रांग होने की जरूरत ही नहीं है.
वो तो जरूरत है. She was playing basketball, everything, right? She was good in every subject. Don't think like Mohit. I know Mohit. Mohit will study only maths. See, Mohit, till 12th, you need to study every subject. Every subject. No excuse. He would be like when Manisha Didi used to teach English or I used to teach, he was like, Amjad Bhaiya, go to hell, I don't want to learn. So that attitude is not good.
Even my field where I just have to do sketching, all the subjects actually are coming to use. History पढ़ना पड़ रहा है मुझे वापस से, मुझे physics पढ़ना पड़ रहा है वापस से. So it's better you work while you are young. वरना जॉब पे जब जॉब के साथ पढ़ाई करनी पड़ेगी ना,
नहीं
बहुत
होता,
प्रॉब्लम हो
like
जाएगी.
मुझसे खुद नहीं होता. I'm studying English grammar again because I did not study grammar properly when I was in school. Okay, I'm reading biology book because I did not had science, but now I am realizing that it's important for me to study biology and science as well. And later it's become very difficult. I don't know ABCD of biology. So study well each and every subject.
Now you have time, use that time for learning. In future you'll have to earn money and you won't get time for learning so much. So start now, kids. You're already wasted a lot of your life just loitering here and there, masti karna.
You should be like one day when you become something and someone asks you from which school you have studied and all, you should say St. Albert's. What proud moment that would be for us. At least five, six of you, all of you, but at least some of you become IAS, IPS, politicians, and then software engineers, professors. How beautiful it would be. At least
Yeah,
साक्षी दीदी को तो याद करोगे, दीदी इतनी हार्ड वर्क करते थे हमारे लिए. Then you will do.
I didn't do anything, Amzad. You people teach them. I just went once a week.
So, you all are wonderful people. Like here is my student Kusali from GPS Kulsumpura. She is very clear in her mind what she has to become, and she keeps learning all the time. Even in Sundays also, she will ask, Didi, bhaiya, send me homework. I'm not feeling good with.
Amzad, I want that student, Amzad. Actually, मेरे efforts will be put to minimum use at least. Students आके बोलेंगे दीदी homework दे दो. Here I'm begging, please submit your homework. And they disappear. They'll be like, no, I don't want to study this year.
So this is the difference. See, there are students whom we have to call and ask, please submit your homework, we are waiting. And there is another student who's completing before time and asking for again for homework. So that's
But
also dedication.
Amzad, I'm coming to your school.
Please come.
I've got another school now.
Please.
Yes.
But Sunita ma'am won't give you permission.
The thing is, this Kushali, she'll be somewhere in top position once she grows old. Okay, and rest of them, those who have been skipping their homeworks and not at all sincere in their works, we can imagine what they'll become in the future.
Kushali, let's have an agreement. When
Yeah.
you become something, no? ऐसे दूसरी
Yes,
school में
Didi.
बुलाऊंगी मैं किसी को, you'll have to come. Guest appearance.
Yes, Didi.
Look at the
Slok, can you
confidence.
turn
Yes,
your video
Didi.
on? Slok. Meeting. So see, Slok. Okay, Baba, you can go.
Bhaiya, can we leave the meeting?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Why do you want to leave the meeting? You are not enjoying our talks.
No, I'm sleepy, Bhaiya.
Okay, good night.
How sincere he is.
Good night, Slok. Bye.
Good night, Shlok.
Okay. And without writing exam, you cannot
bye,
go
Bhaiya.
to your next classes.
Yes, ma'am. They'll have to anyway repeat this year.
Without writing exams, however, your parents come and plead us, we are not going to